Alright, so this is game 5 between Mo and Schism, and we are on Plasma. In case some of you don't know what this map looks like, it's really weird. It's kind of like, it makes you think it's an island type map just because you have these eggs outside of your main base on the low ground. You can still get scouts through by clicking on the mineral patches, but you can also kill the eggs and make it like not an island map. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Plasma, to be 100% honest, but with me once again is Machine LighT, Tot Aerials. Go ahead and say hello, fellas.
What's up?
And we also have Nyoken, the great Nyoken, with us. Can you please say hello, Nyoken?
Hi.
All right. Thank you, Nyoken. So, getting on to the game, I have not watched too much TVZ on this map, other for a few games where I saw somebody go two-port Wraith. Well, that was the Team Liquid versus SC2GG show match. Somebody went two-port Wraith and killed the other guy, but we didn't have Plasma, so it must have been a Pro League game. I can't remember. Somebody went two-port Wraith and just dominated the other Zerg just by going two-port Wraith with Cloak. It was amazing. I'm sorry I can't provide more information with that, but let's go ahead and get the Terran perspective from Aerials, since I don't really know how that really works on this map. What would you do, Aerials, on this map? What's your strategy?
There's a few options you could do. It calls for cheesy play because of the design of the map. You can proxy factory the guy, send vultures at him. You can go 14 command center because Zerg can't do anything to you. You can go two-port Wraith like you mentioned earlier. That's always works if you have good Wraith micro. And yeah, those to me are really the only three options I can think of for this map. And
we're always going to assume Bryce's answer for what the Zerg player should do is go Mutalisk. That's the best build. But what would you say, Machine? What's your build for Plasma?
Well,
go
honestly, Zerg can take... yeah, basically Zerg can take advantage of the fact that, you know, because it's, you know, a semi-island map, I guess you could call it an island map, no sort of early attack can really, you know, affect the Zerg econ, so you can literally pump drones and go the fastest muta possible, just because, you know, there's not too much that they can really do to stop you from doing it. And yeah, muta's better here because you have to kill the eggs. Although lurker build is good because, you know, as you know, the eggs are blocking the entrances. And with Splash, you know, they'll kill all the eggs a lot faster, so you can get out of your base. But I'd still go Muta.
I have been at the receiving end of a two-hatch lurker build from a fellow commentator by Cholera, and it caught me completely off guard, ZVT on this map, and everybody never lets me down about that. Despite me beating him in a best-of-3 series, nobody ever forgets that he did a two-hatch lurker against me and completely owned me with that. But we see Mo. I'll stop digressing about my newbie games because nobody wants to hear it. So we see Mo going for his third hatch at his mineral only. His second hatchery just finished at his natural, and we can see a proxy factory from Schism, and he's just gonna float that over, I assume, aerials, and then start harassing with vultures.
Yeah, Zerg's not expecting any offense early on, especially since Schism didn't let Mo scout. He doesn't actually know what's going on, so proxy factory is a good idea. And now we see two starports going up, so this is pretty cheesy right now. So yeah, he's going to harass him with the vultures and then switch it into wraiths so he could start hunting down the overlords.
The overlord is actually going to spot that factory, so that might trick Mo into thinking he's going to have a factory coming towards him, and that might force him to build a few Zerglings for defense and in preparation for vultures that might never come. But then again, Schism could build a few just to try to harass a little bit. But these two-port wraiths are going to be very strong against Mo. Mo not even sending an overlord to scout, has no idea this is coming. He does have a Hydralisk Den building and a lair, so it looks like he is going to go for looks like a three-hatch lurker build, and I guess just try to push him with that. How well do you think these two wraiths are gonna do? I mean, the Hydra Den is done, so there is a counter to the wraiths in the form of Hydras, but they can't be everywhere at once. Do you think Schism's still gonna be able to get a decent amount of kills with his wraiths?
You could actually see Mo's getting Hydralisk range at the Hydralisk Den, so he's not even planning to go lurkers. I think he's just playing it really defensive. Oh, did he? Yes, he did. He decided to switch to Spire. And yeah, like you said, you can't be everywhere at once. If I was a Zerg, I probably would have gone for an evolution chamber and thrown a spore colony at each base, because at least that way each base is protected. But having like 2 or 3 Hydralisks staying in one spot isn't going to cover everything. And as you can see, Schism is playing smart and he's splitting up his raids, so he's at 2 places at once. And it's going to be hard for Mo to cover off 2 places at once. And yeah, good play by Schism.
So, Machine, your thoughts now that we have the Hydras out defending and Aspire building? Do you think now with the Wraiths already in play, do you think Mutas is still going to be a good choice, or is he trying to get the Spire for Scourge to deal with the Wraiths?
Well, whenever you see, you know, Terran do any sort of tech like this, it's always best to go Muta. That's why I always say, you know, Muta's the safest build and so forth. But with that double tech, he should be able to hold off these Wraiths in the meantime until Cloak finishes. But for now, I think this was the better decision.
And we can see that those Wraiths are pushed out. They're pretty heavily damaged, 60 HP and 120 on another. And they're just kind of scouting around for any wandering Overlords that are just too far from home. Try to send them quicker into the afterlife. And one Overlord in the middle of the map is going to get found out and taken out. And that's just going to set Mo's supply back even further. He already lost, I think, 1 Overlord already, and now this is his 2nd Overlord going down. And now using Hydras to try to kill the eggs to get through Schism. That's going to take him ages to do that. It would be a lot faster just to get a couple lurkers, but okay. Now Wraith's coming in, sniping some drones, just trying to keep Mo just back and forth, moving his Hydralisks around, trying not to keep them all over the place, but in one spot so he can just swoop around, as you can see, with his Wraiths and just hit another area. Meanwhile, he's been able to expand. Of course, Schism needs to expand in order to keep up. You can't let a Zerg have 3 base and then you stay at 1. You're just asking for trouble if you do that. So good move by Schism, taking his 2nd. Unfortunately, it's only at his mineral only. I think it would have been a better choice taking the one with the gas, because there's one more mineral patch there as well. But he's the better player, so I won't try to second guess his motives here. So now that the Wraiths are out and they're just kind of meandering around aerials, Scourge are out as well. I don't know if Schism has spotted that, but would you just keep the Wraiths purely defensive? Or actually, nope, we see him going in with the Wraiths already, and Scourge, whoosh. Look.
Cloak.
Nice job. And we actually see a tech switch back to normal M&M. So is it just pretty much what we're going to be seeing here is a long macro game now that is Schism going to take another a 3rd base for himself and then just push out after he messes up a huge ball? Or what's the game plan do you think Schism's going to go for here?
Yeah, I think it's just a standard game from now on. Mo has Lurker up there. He's just breaking through the eggs now, so he's going to start being aggressive. The Wraiths really don't have any more offensive value because Mo's covered off pretty much every base safely. So they're basically just for wandering Overlords and maybe picking off some units that are strafe and Overlords with Cloak. And for scouting purposes, but anything to pick off drones or whatnot won't work anymore in my opinion. So that's calls for an M&M switch, and that's exactly what Schism is doing. So again, so far so good from Schism.
Now we can see these lurkers coming in, busting on those eggs. Now this is going to work for Mo. He's going to be able to get lurkers right inside Schism's base, start harassing him, and there's really not too much detection. We see 2 comsats, and they have 100 energy each. That's 4 scans, a missile turret up already, but this could be dangerous for Schism if he's not resourceful with the scans and with his marine use, because no siege tanks are building. And actually Mo's not going to press his advantage with his lurkers. He's going to leave them right there at where the eggs are killed. Another thing that's going to work against Mo is now having cleared the way, that's going to allow Schism to be able to counterattack if Mo fails with his lurker harass here, and then Schism Comsat sees a lack of defense. And wow, 2 lurkers picked off simultaneously without doing anything. So that's not a huge hit, but I mean, just 2 lurkers dying without accomplishing anything other than killing eggs is definitely a waste of resources. And now Mo, I really don't see an army. I'm not quite sure what he's spending his resources on. Can you elaborate what might be going on here, Machine?